Hello everybody, I'm Hat Creature, and this video will be about map presets for your mastermind. Now this video is not centered towards newer players, it's centered towards everybody. Because whether you just started, or if it's just not something you're good at, this video will help you. Now I spend most of my time practicing and customizing than actually playing Mastermind. So it's something that I find really fun. I really enjoy, creating dungeons. So I've been getting a lot of good results with map presets. Anyway, here we go. So the first one I'm going to show you is Abandoned Park. Now, even though I'm going to show you my preset, that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to start out with showing you an example of what a good preset versus a bad preset is. Because playing Mastermind, your map preset will determine whether you win or lose. Unless you're just really good and you can play without a preset. I've seen it. I'm not going to do that. No thank you. But your map preset is super important. And here we go. I'm just going to get right into it. Preset 1, Abandoned Park. This is my area 1. All those are dogs and 1 liquor. Now area 2. This is where it gets interesting. Right here. Okay. Now, this preset was specifically made for my Annette. And if I use this preset on anyone else, I am at a slight disadvantage. Probably a huge disadvantage if I don't win at the beginning of Area 2. And this is why. My security devices. In Area 2, the survivors have to unlock your security devices. Now, my strategy with Abandoned Park, Preset 1, in Area 2, is having all 3 of these devices very close to each other. Now, the only reason I did that is with Annette, you can swarm. And this is a good idea for Annette or Spencer, because if your survivors are forced to stay within a small area, then you can swarm them with creatures. You can constantly put creatures around them as they're attempting to do the objective. They have nowhere to go. They have nowhere else to go. They have to stay within this small area, and they're forced to stay next to your creatures. And your creatures are infecting them, your creatures are hurting them, maybe you can shoot them. They have nowhere to go. If they want any salvation, if they want any reprieve from the pain that you are raining down on them, they have to go anywhere else. Over here, back to the starting area, in the safe room, towards the exit. You're forcing them to run away from the objective, because the objective is very close to each other. Now, this is a good idea with Annette and Spencer. This is a good preset for that. But anyone else, this is bad. This is a bad preset for your mastermind. Daniel, Alex, Nikolai, this is bad for them. This is really bad for Nikolai if you're only using guns, because there's only 1 camera for the security device. They take it out, it's over. This security device only has 1 camera. This one, if they take it out, it's over. Same thing with this one. 1 camera. They take it out, it's over. And then they're on to the next area. It's over very quickly. They'll take out your camera because that's all you have. And I believe it takes 10 seconds for your camera to recover, but it takes 5 seconds for them to do the security device. So even if you recover your camera within 5 seconds with 3 cooling fans, they already got done with the security device, because you're not Spencer, you're Nikolai. I'm not, and this preset would be good for Gun Spencer, but like I said, Spencer. But this would be bad for Nikolai. Now, if you're doing Alex, Alex is just awful. She has traps. So if you're only using traps, well, that's just like Nikolai. They'll just destroy the camera. So you're making it too easy for them to complete their objective, because they don't have to go anywhere. you can't follow up with this preset unless you're Annette or Spencer. So this is an example of something that's good for 2 masterminds, but bad for every other mastermind, unless you can win in the first area of Area 2. And that's just an example. So when you're making your map presets, it's very important to make something not only that you think is good, and not something for you, but you're making a map preset for your masterminds. Now when the game first came out, there was only 4 masterminds, and look at this. 4 presets. When the game first came out, I made 1 preset for each mastermind on every map. And that's what I did. Nowadays, there's 5 masterminds, as of this video. And so I can still do that. There's 4 presets. What I've been doing is, my Annette preset is usually also my Daniel preset. And then Spencer can do whatever he wants. But if you don't make something that's an all-around preset, and you're making something specific, then you have to make it specific to the mastermind you're playing. What works for Spencer won't work for Daniel, because they play differently, so your map preset needs to reflect who you're playing as. Now, this is another example. This is my Daniel preset. I actually got this, I believe, from Tide Time, that room specifically. Everything else, I just made up myself. I have a theme going on with dogs and liquors. I kind of made the same mistake here with the security devices. 2 of them are right next to each other. I forgot about that, because every time I've been using this particular preset, I've been testing Alex, or I've been using Annette. So it didn't really matter what I was doing. I was either going to lose as Alex or win as Annette, because it didn't matter where the security devices were. Just going to back out of that. So you can make creature presets, and you can make trap presets, a whole bunch of different options. And I haven't even gotten into those yet. So that was about the presets for specific characters. Most of the characters in the game are creature-based, so you could make a creature-based preset for everybody. But those security devices, you need to put them in areas that you can defend. Now, you can place them anywhere that it'll let you. I guess I'll go over that next. I'm gonna go back to this one. Bam. Okay. So I already said this is good for Annette, but let's say you're not playing Annette. Let's say you're playing Daniel. So this room is good for Daniel, because it's one of the only... on Abandoned Park, anyway. It's a small room. Now, if your survivors are over here and they're at the security device, you can lock the door, and then as Daniel, you can have creatures over here, maybe something out here, because you're setting up. It's in a small room. They don't have anywhere to go. So you can possess a zombie and start attacking them when they're on this. And this is a good spot for Daniel's security device, because they have not a whole lot of room to avoid you. They have to fight you or die and run away. Or run away and die. This spot right here is a little bit too open, but it's not that bad for Daniel. But, like I said, you wouldn't want this here if you want this here as well. Abandoned Park is... It's a good map, but Area 2 is a bit strange for masterminds. It's just a bit awkward. You got some closed off areas, and you have a huge big area, and then you have this kind of a mix of a confined and big area. Because they can run back and forth and run around all over here. This is straightforward. So a better security device besides this one could actually be this one right here, but if you have this one, you won't want this one. Instead, move it there, because this is a fence. They have to go to the stairs. They have to go up and in. They're putting themselves in a small location. Then you can use Daniel, or even Mr. X. You can pop Mr. X behind them, but only if they're distracted, because there's a door right here, and that's his biggest weakness. So pop in a creature right here as Daniel, possess them, and start smacking them when they're on the security device. Because it's a small location. It's a little bit difficult to run away from them in this zone. Unless you can trick them or scare them into going up this way, and then they're dead. This is a good spot for Daniel for the same reasons. They have this way to run, into the open area. It's kind of up to you how you would actually play this security device, but this is just one example. This would be a better one besides this. So I guess overall, bam, bam, and this one. Because this is completely closed off, it's a small space. They have nowhere to run except here. So this would be good for Daniel. It would also be good for Annette, and it would also be good for Alex, and Spencer, and Nikolai. That's an example of something that works for every mastermind with security devices. Your security devices should be in areas where your mastermind can take advantage of. Annette can take advantage of all of these. It doesn't matter. Spencer too, because he's bioenergy. Nikolai, your security devices should be in here, because you have 2 cameras. Maybe just put 1 in here. You can put 2 if you like. That's up to you. But there's 2 cameras here. You have 2 cameras to defend a security device. And if you're only using guns, you need 2 cameras, because they will be hot on your ass. They'll be hot on your cameras and shooting them down. And that's pretty much the best place on this map for Nikolai's security devices. So always remember, when you're placing your security devices, think about whose preset is this? Is this Nikolai's? Is this Alex's? Who are you making this for? What areas can that mastermind take advantage of those security devices? That's important. So, security devices, creature placement, always make sure you're making it for the mastermind you want to use it on, whether it's for everybody or specific. It's very important. Now I want to show you an example of a all trap preset. If it'll load fast enough. I'm gonna go to... let's go casino. I actually really enjoy casino. So this... my preset 3 is traps. No matter what map it is, I always make preset 3 traps. I don't know why. It's just cool. I made this originally for Spencer. So the whole point of this preset is so if you want to place all traps, you really have to get into the map itself and play it as a survivor. Go into practice mode, play as survivor, and run through your preset. And don't look for your traps, just, you're playing survivor. You're thinking like a survivor. Are you seeing the traps you put down? Where are you seeing them? When are you seeing them? Why are you seeing them? Does it work? Because when you're putting down a trap, it's actually very difficult, because you would want the trap to get as close to the corner as possible to hide the trap. Hide the trap behind the corner. I don't know if this works. I think it works if the light is off. This is a tight hallway. It's really tight, so but it's also next to the light. So this is actually a bad example of a trap. It should be like right there. Or maybe closer here, because the light's right there. So you're going to walk into it on the way to the light, if it's not already off. This one is actually my trick. The way I have it here is that this trap, the landmine, is right next to the switch. So, as Mastermind, I turn off the light, so they run in. Maybe they'll see the leg trap. Maybe they won't. If they get into the leg trap, then that's 5 seconds off the clock. And their buddy will either help them, or they'll walk around to turn on the light, and then walk into the landmine. This works. This actually works. They won't see the landmine, because it's against a tight corner. They won't think it's there. So if they're not looking for it and they don't expect a trap to be next to a damn switch, it'll catch them off guard. They're not looking for it, and they'll walk into it. Because with traps, you have to put it around corners and in blind spots where they can't really see it quick enough for them to react. I'll have to go through a trap preset to really show you. It's the same thing with this one. This is actually really difficult for me because as Survivor, you're running, and I'm trying to put it at a blind spot where they won't see it in time. Some people see it, some people don't. It really also depends on the survivor. Who are you playing against? Some of them have better eyes than others. Some will notice things, others don't. This is a good spot for a trap too. They're running in, and most of the time they'll actually run into it. In my case, anyway. For you, maybe it won't happen. There you go. Okay. Yeah, this. I wouldn't recommend this. Even though I did it, I would not recommend it. This is a good one, though. You can switch this for something like right here, but this is probably your best bet. Anyway, I'll get back to this. High explosive, leg hold, into landmine. That's something you can do. So, leg hold trap, man, I can get it. Leg hold trap, into landmine. What happens is that they'll step into the leg hold trap, and either they'll immediately activate the landmine, or when they get out of the leg hold trap, they'll step forward because it's the animation. They can't stop themselves from stepping forward because it's the animation of escaping the leg hold trap. They'll step forward into the landmine. And that's a total of 10 seconds you took off with that neat little trick. You can do that in the presets. You can try to do it in an actual gameplay. You can definitely try. I don't know if it'll work exactly like that. It's one of those. Sometimes they'll step into the leg hold trap, then get out, then walk into it. Or it'll happen both instantaneously. Now, stairs. Stairs are beautiful places for traps. You wouldn't necessarily want to put 2 of these traps on such small stairs, because once they hit 1, it's very unlikely they'll get tricked by the second one. So this is bad. I'll have to show you downtown, because downtown has the best spot for traps on stairs. But traps on stairs are great because people aren't looking for traps on stairs. It's easy to miss, especially going down the stairs and not up the stairs. This is preset 3, but on preset, I believe 1 and 2, I have a different version of the stairs. I'll go back to that other trap that I said I'd go back to. I have a different version, but anyway, I usually put like lockdown traps on that stair I showed you, and it'll lock all the doors on the map. And that's good, there it is. It's a tracker mine, but you can either use tracker or lockdown. I would prefer lockdown, but I have 2 lickers here, so I had to put a tracker. But yeah, people step into it. A lot of people don't notice it, and if they don't run into it and they just walk by it, that's fine. That means they didn't notice it. They ran past it, maybe because you placed it wrong, or maybe it's just bad luck. They didn't hit it. But if they didn't hit it, then that means they didn't see it. They didn't blow it up intentionally, because that's a free 10 seconds for them. If they miss it going up, they'll definitely hit it going down. But if it's a lockdown trap, its use is gone. But if they hit it on the way up, bam, whole bunch of doors. Now, I put a trap over here in that last preset I showed you. This is, well, good if Yorick spawns over here. If Yorick, your security guard, spawns over here, they'll run into it, especially if the light is off. But the reason I put a trap over here in that other preset is because one time I put it in the preset and forgot about it. I forgot all about it. I was using the preset, I was losing. I was on the verge of winning, but I was also on the verge of losing because all they needed was one person on the exit for them to transition to Area 3. That's all they needed, and I couldn't stop them. I didn't have anything. But the trap was there. They didn't see it. They blew themselves up and was downed. They got downed by the trap because they were low on health. And that was purely from my preset and not me. So because of my preset, I won. My preset got me victory because of one random trap that may never have been blown up, but it did blow up because they didn't see it, and that won. That's why I put that there. You can also put it here. Very low chance they'll actually see it because they're not looking at the stairs when they go down these stairs. They're looking at the exit. They're looking at your camera. Are you on the camera? They're looking for you on that camera. They're not looking at the stairs. And that's why you want to put a trap there. But I put it here. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to go to downtown and show you an amazing example of traps on stairs. It's in Area 3. That's if I didn't get rid of it. I don't remember if I kept it or changed it up. Nope. It's this one. I put traps everywhere, but... No, yeah, I did change it. Yeah, I did change it. So what I ended up doing was instead of putting all traps on the stairs, I put them all around the map. But basically, these stairs are amazing for traps on presets. You can't really put traps on here during a normal match. You can take control of, I believe it's camera 26, I think. You can take control of this camera and you can look up here. But you can't look at the stairs, only this one. So in a match, you can put a trap on these stairs using a camera, but everywhere else you can't. So if survivors know that, if survivors also play Mastermind, and they know that you can't really place anything here in a normal match, they're not looking for traps. They're not looking at the stairs unless you give them a reason to look at the stairs. So high explosive landmine, a high explosive landmine. They usually just walk right into it and blow themselves up because they're not looking for it. And a lot of times, if you place it correctly, the trap will be so hidden by the stair above it that they'll never see it. And they can only disarm it if they're Martin, maybe, or if they already down the stairs and they look up and blow it up, or if they throw a grenade. Sometimes they can get rid of it, but that means they saw it. Most of the time, they don't see this because of the stairs. No one looks at the stairs. Some people do. I do, because I know what I do. I put traps on stairs. That's why I look at the stairs. Other people might not do that, so they're not looking for it. You have to assume they're not looking for it, but you have to put it in a place you know they're not looking for it. I know they're not looking at the stairs, so that's where I put it. Now right here, this is difficult to put down because this is where they need to go. It's in the direct path of where they need to go. Here's a biocore. Run through here. Now a lot of survivors don't hug the corners or hug the walls when they go in. Some people do. This would get them. Some people don't. They would make a wide arc and in. So sometimes this will work and sometimes it won't. Because if they make a wide arc, they'll definitely see it and they'll just blow it up. It all depends on the situation. If you can distract them enough, maybe stay in this camera and watch them. Maybe they're watching you watching them. And if they're watching you, they're not watching these. Now this is downtown Area 3. Right here's the biocore. This is the second floor. Second floor. Right here, second floor. This one might not work, but this one usually does, because they don't see it. This is the elevator, and the elevator has that long fence, so it's obstructing any vision of anything on the floor right here, and definitely right here. So putting a trap here, they're immediately going to run into the biocore, and they'll immediately run into the bomb, because it's so close to their entrance point, which is a very tight space. It's so close to them, they usually don't have enough time to react and not walk right into it. And that's what you're looking for in trap presets. Where are they going? Why are they going over there? What can they see? What are they looking for? Because you really have to get into the mindset of sight of the survivors. What do they want? What are they seeing? What they see and what they don't see is what you have to think of when you're making a trap preset, which is entirely different from a creature preset. Now, a creature preset, I did go over this earlier. I was mostly talking about security devices, but a creature preset is dependent on the mastermind you're using it for. If you're using a net, I've been changing my presets a lot. I use this one with a net, but I've been using it with Infectious Nikolai. This still works with a net. It still works with Daniel, and will work with Alex. So this is an all-around creature build. Those are all detonators. I don't use these presets very often. My thing was use detonators instead of traps and see what happens. It hasn't been working. That's a licker and a jester. And those are all creatures. Let's see. Two lickers. Yeah, creatures. I'll go with this one. So this works with all the masterminds, but since most masterminds are creatures, it still works for everybody. But let's say you're using something specific. So let's say you're doing Infectious Alex, or Poison Alex instead of Trap Alex. This could work, but you probably wouldn't want them here. You'd want to infect them as soon as possible. I'm not telling you to put them here. I think this is a bad spot to put zombies. Sure, the survivors come right out, but they have a place to go. So they run right out. Your creatures are right here. They're gonna stand right here. Or maybe they'll stand right here. Maybe they'll destroy your camera when they're standing in here. They can do that as January. Maybe others can do it if they try. But if your creatures are right here, they're not gonna go forward, of course, unless they're stupid, or they're just rushing. But they have a whole bunch of place to fall back on. So unless you have lickers over here, they can just step back and start shooting at your creatures. Now, it's not a lot of space. This is a tight spot, but they have all of this. They have a lot of leeway, a lot of space. So I don't put creatures in this first room anymore unless I'm trying to overwhelm them with a net. But if you're playing Alex, you wouldn't want them here. I mean, you would, but I would leave that up to personal choice. I would recommend if you're doing Alex and you wanted to infect them as soon as possible in this area, use dogs. Use all dogs. Or maybe one licker and a whole bunch of dogs, and then infect the dogs. And then you can start your infection with that. That's what I would do with a preset for Alex, if you wanted to infect them. Now, you can use that on a net as well. You obviously can use that on Daniel, but you can't control dogs or lickers, so it wouldn't really work for him. But it would serve as a distraction for when you're buffing your zombies over here, or like I am, over here. Daniel can use this, so can Alex. So if you're Alex, having the creatures here on your preset is okay, but downtown, the first area is really small. They're already at the exit. My keys are right here. If I was doing Alex with this preset, I'd be screwing myself because they went through the entire map. They're now at the end, and only now I'm attacking them. And infection is best when you start off quick at the beginning, not at the end, especially if there's a Valerie in the group. So this would be bad for Alex, but good for everyone else. For Alex, you'd have to move them forward. Now if you're playing a net, or Daniel, you can buff everything here. Dealer, Tough Zombie, Jester, Infectious, you can buff these things. And then when the survivors come in, you just go full on rage mode and start attacking everybody, as Daniel, or Annette, or even Spencer. Spencer doesn't have to start here. He can start wherever he wants. Probably in this room, or this room, because he can go from this camera to this camera. Lock the door, then this one, turn off the light, and then go back out to where he wants. Area 2. If you're on the PS4, I wouldn't recommend this anymore. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I like putting them in here, but it's really awkward. But if you're on PC, you probably don't have this problem. I don't know what it is, but on the PS4, in Area 2, a lot of times my creatures take forever to spawn from the preset. It takes way too long. So these lickers, they usually spawn when the survivors are already at this door. So this doesn't really work. But I don't know if PC players have that same problem. It's probably a loading thing, like, you know, the power of the console compared to the power of the PC. But if it works, it works. 2 lickers here. You can use this on anybody. 2 lickers here and a tracker mine. The point of this preset is a pincer attack. If they walk through here, they get bombarded with 1 licker on that side, 1 licker on this side. Might want to put this licker like right there, and then this licker like right here. What you're going for with this tight hallway is the survivors to move up here, not here, here. If anything, this is still bad. I still screwed this up, because what you really have to think about is, like, what creatures are you putting down? How do they behave? The lickers need a runway. They need to run forward and then attack. You can't put them next to survivors, or they'll have a hard time, because they're AI, because they're movement. The point of this was that they get trapped between 2 lickers. But if the lickers come in too soon, the survivors have a fallback point here and here. You have to think about those things with your preset and what creatures you have. If the lickers pincer them at here, then they can still fall back. But if the survivors make it here, and then this licker comes up behind them while they're dealing with this licker, that's the ideal scenario. Because they're trapped in this hallway, or this hallway, but not here. That's what you want with 2 lickers on both sides of a hallway. Where are the survivors going? Where will they be when they get attacked? You have to think about the entire map. You have to think about where the survivors are going. This is your dungeon. You are creating a death trap for the survivors. What's your trap? Where are they going? You have to make it difficult for them. You have to think about everything. And then creatures. This works best with best with William. You could probably do this with Nemesis as well. But the whole thing here is I have a whole bunch of creatures here, and the licker right there, because it needs a runway. The whole bunch of creatures here, and the tracker mine, the goal is they'll run out. This is a tiny spot. This is a crack. Now I still haven't pinpointed exactly on the crack, on the corner of the door, where they pop out of. I still don't know. But the goal of this is they'll slide out of the room. They look left. Whenever survivors walk out of the door, they look left at this. So when they walk out, they'll see these 3 zombies. They don't know what's on their right. They have no idea. As far as they know, nothing. But there is. There's a zombie and a partially armored zombie and a tracker mine right there. So if they decide to quickly dart to the right, the goal is that they'll run into the tracker mine. And if there's anyone behind them, they'll get infected too with the tracker mine. So they'll all be taking more damage, and they'll be stunned for like a split second from the mine, and then they'll get attacked. And then by that point, the licker will hear them, run up the stairs, and back up the creatures. Now with William and Nemesis, take control of camera 26, I think. This one, right here. You can barely see it. That one. And put your bioweapon, like, right there. Or right here. And you can just start smashing on them. If you have enough creatures here, you can basically stun lock them, so they can't go back in the room. And if they go back in the room, who cares? Just back out of the bioweapon, or stay in the bioweapon. You're wasting their time. And that's an example of a creature preset. Maybe it's not as in-depth as you need. Let me know. If you need something more specific with the creatures, let me know. I can always come back to this. Let's see. So that was creatures. Oh yeah, one more thing. One super important thing. This video is really long. Really important. Detonators. I was talking about detonators earlier. Okay. Do I still have it? I moved them. Okay. Right there. Preset 2. Okay. Is that yeah. This is very important. So those are all detonators. All of them. So I'm going to go into that. Okay. I'm going to go into practice mode as Survivor and show you the thing about detonators. It's very important. Reset 2. Extended. Let's go Jan. Okay. So the thing about detonators is when you spawn in detonators, they... Okay, no. When you put detonators in your preset, your goal is to hide the detonator so that the survivor will quickly run around the corner and surprise attack from the detonator and get blown up. Now, depending on the map, you can do it pretty easy. On other maps, it's very hard. Research facility is really hard for me personally, for anything. Because of the point distribution, it's very low. I don't know if I forgot something here. Oh crap. I should have played Valorant. Anyway, the whole point of this is the detonators. I might have to get a key. Yeah, I might have to get a key. I don't think I can get a free pass over there. I forgot where I put my keys. Right there. That's a detonator. I forgot that was there. The door wasn't even locked. I just walked in and the detonator hit me. That's the point of the detonator. That's why I made this preset. And I got a mine there because I forgot all about it. I wasn't looking. Did you see where I was looking? I was looking at the door. I wasn't looking at the mine. I wasn't looking at the floor. I was looking for keys. Okay, there used to be a detonator there, but I guess I moved him. There's another one. No detonator there? Okay. Oh, there's a mine.
Your continued efforts only place humanity in greater danger.
Yeah, that doesn't really work. It's really hard to place mines in presets because it doesn't always let you put them close to the wall as much as you need them to. Like right there. I mean, that's a bad spot. I tried.
Should you proceed, I will stop you yet.
But this is why you have to go into your presets as Survivor to look at your traps. I think I might have a guest coming in like a second. Hopefully not. But anyway, I want to show you this about detonators. When you spawn detonators in your presets, they don't spawn where you put them. You can put them dead center at a corner. That's not where they'll spawn. They're fat. They're bulgy. They're huge. They move when they spawn in. They move forward from where you put them. Did you see that? This is what I'm talking about, right there. Anyway, that's a door. I put him right there, but he spawned right in front of the door.
It's locked.
That's not the problem. That's not what I want to show you. But you just saw it. I started preset 2, area 2, and the creature took forever to spawn in. Hey, buddy. He took forever to spawn in. That worked. The door was open. It was not locked. I just ran right in and got hit by the detonator. But I'm looking for this one. See him? Did you see that? It was very quick. He was right there. He was standing right here. In my preset, he's standing right here. In my preset, he's here.
EMP ready.
He was standing right here. Creatures in your preset don't move. They don't wander around. But the detonator spawns forward. Wherever you put them, they spawn like several feet forward of where you put them down. So you can put them at a corner, but they'll spawn in front of the corner. I'm gonna go back to that preset and show you. And maybe you want to rewind a little bit to see that detonator. Remember where he was. He was in the middle of the hallway. Plain as day. Very easy to spot, right there in front of everybody. That's not where I put them on the map. That's where I put him. Right there. That's not where he was when I went in, was it? That's completely different. So, be wary of when you put detonators in your presets. Always remember that you have to put them, like, back. If you want your detonator here, put it further backwards. I have in my preset 1, I have a detonator right here. Now he's gonna spawn forward of where I put him, and that's fine. I did that on purpose. Maybe I can show you that real quick. I work at a motel, so my time is limited. Preset 1. Excuse me. Right there, yeah. So I put the detonator right there, because right there's a security device, and there's a wall. I'll have to go in there. Yeah, right there. So I put him right here. Oh, wow, I put him right there? I thought I put him right there. Anyway, I put him right here, I guess, so he'll spawn right here. I want him at the corner, where they won't see him when they walk up this way. I put him here, he'll spawn forward. So he'll be near the corner where I actually want him. But that's an entirely different preset. This is really bad, but sometimes it works. This is the detonator. He'll spawn forward right next to the door, right in front of the door. And that's an example of detonators. They spawn in differently than any other creature on presets. So you might want to go back. Now, you saw me get just smacked by detonators. Every single one of those detonator spawns, the door was open. It was not locked, it was open. Because I wanted them to rush in through the door. The one way you can do it is lock the door, and then when they try to break it down, the detonator will hear them, and then they'll get ready to hit them. Or, like I was doing, if the door is farther along in the map, they're already standing up proper. They're ready. They're waiting. So, when you burst through the open door, surprised that it's open and not locked, they're not expecting anything on the other side. They're just running through it. And that's the detonator. That's how it got me. Now, those are some specific and broad tips on map presets for creatures and traps, what works well with some masterminds and what doesn't work with others. You really need to think about your dungeon. That's what it is. It's a death trap. It's a death maze. You're creating something to hinder the survivors and torture them. So you have to think about where they're going. What do they want? Where is the thing they want? Where are you putting it? What are you putting in their way? All these things. All these things. And it's very important. You can win or lose depending on your preset. Or sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll win despite the bad preset. If you go in with a character and accidentally choose the wrong preset, you could definitely lose. Or maybe you'll win on accident. Maybe you can make it work for you. So this has been my video on map presets for masterminds. If you need any more tips on it, let me know. I can try to make another video. Tell me exactly what you're looking for. Like, more details on, and I'll go over them. Because this is not scripted. This is just me going in blind, telling you all the important things I can think of that I know are very important and you need to know. So if you need anything specific, let me know. And then I'll go over that in better detail than I did here. I was trying to cover everything. I hope you enjoyed this. I really hope it helps you. Like I said, I test more than I actually play. I'm constantly fine-tuning my deck and my map presets to get it very, very deadly. I'm way too critical and a perfectionist on these little things because I want it to work. I'm not the best mastermind, of course not, but that's my shtick. I'm constantly modifying and trying to perfect it. And then once I perfect it, I get bored. And then move on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you. Leave a comment, leave a like, whatever you feel like. And have a great day.